wipe this down one last time. Get all that dust up out of here. And then we're going to paint this door that black primer. All right. So while this is doing its thing, I'm going to come back and tape up my lines here. And that way I don't get any major overspray. I'm using this sensitive tape or whatever the hell it's called, delicate surface tape, and we're just going to go back over it. A gust of wind just came in and it knocked my paper just over, and it would have touched this. If I would have primed it and that paper would have came over and touched it, oh, I would have been so mad. So, but I do need the door open, you know, to be able to breathe a little bit. So, even with the wearing the mask and everything, it just gets a little, if it's enclosed, it's not bad. But where the wind kind of blows through here, and I'm doing it just a real quick paint. I'm just gonna go at it. So I've got to fix this little area right here. Push it in. It really sticks. There we go. I know it seems insane to be using a spray can, a spray paint on a car, but I've explained it many times throughout my videos. The main reason is because the paint in a gun, the paint particle dust goes everywhere and it sticks. It'll stick to your walls. I mean, it will be everywhere. So that's the main reason for using in a can. And I know it sounds silly to do a paint can, but it's just more for me to control my paint. I've never been a good painter. Never have been. Okay, we're gonna leave it right there. And let it do its thing, let it dry. And then we'll be able to get all the inside tomorrow. Let's see, today's Thursday. So tomorrow I'll paint the inside black with actual black spray paint. And then maybe Saturday I'll be able to paint this black wood, because I want to resand this down one more time, get that 800 grit. We'll see. You know, we'll see how the weekend goes. If not, you know, maybe I'll start putting the window mechanisms and everything back in, just in case I do bump something on the outside, you know. And that way it doesn't screw that up, you know. I don't know. We'll see. So that's all we're going to do for today. We just did a little bit of primering. And yeah, we'll go from there. And maybe we'll see what I don't know. Keep thinking about that. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. You know, I still want to know what kind of car your guys' favorite cars are. You know, give me a year. Give me, you know, nobody's responded to anything yet. I mean, if you could have like any car you could have, you know, wanted. Well, actually, you know, I always said I always wanted a '67 Corvette. You know, with the silver and black stinger. That's my all-time favorite car, but I would go with a McLaren F1. that car is just freaking awesome. I mean, what are they, like $3 million now or whatever? But if some billionaire handed me the money and I could go buy one, that'd be fun. But I mean, you couldn't. I mean, it's not practical to drive unless you are, like I said, rich. So anyway, thanks again. Like I said, guys, I really do appreciate you following me. Sometimes I find I think I'm kind of just boring you guys, but just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. But the reality is this is just really how long it takes. That's the truth. It just takes a lot of time. It's taken me longer than I thought. So, but that's all right. It's going to be way better than what it was. That's all that matters to me. And like I said, if I ever do come across a little bit more money, then I'll pay somebody just to basically just, like, the lines are going to be nice and straight and everything. So all they have to do is just sand it, repaint it, and I mean, it'd be really easy. So they won't even have to paint the inside or anything like that. They'll just have to scuff the outside. All right, so we're gonna come back to this. I just made a little bend here instead of measuring tape. That way I can just kind of mark it. And I'm gonna take my marker and use that as my height gauge. So I'm just gonna eyeball it because, like I said, this is just a really rough, you know, real rough piece. And that should get pretty close to my height. So I'm just gonna go across all the way. And like I said, just rough. It's not gonna matter a whole lot. We're just gonna, where we can cut the shape. So see, we'll have to build it up a little bit along there. And right here. And on the end here. All right. So that's just kind of my rough guide. You know, like I said, it's not 100% perfect. Doesn't have to be. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these pieces and make it a little more nice and square. I'm not gonna worry much about this piece until I get it, or this edge, until I actually get it a little more firm. I mean, it's pretty strong. That's not, you know, but I need to build up that. So, but I want to flatten this out. So what I want to do is I want to grind this down and make that flat first. And then if I need any more structure, then I can come back, because I want to grind this old cardboard off too. So I need to work on it. But first thing first, we're going to cut these away. So kind of just the basic shape. And like I said, I have to go in and take a file and take this down. So I got another attachment that'll bring that down. All right, so I got another little attachment like this, and that'll get all that big edges down where it's thick. And then what I can do from there is I could just take sandpaper or a sander and just sand the rest of that down, and then it'll take that down. So now that I got this bit on, I'll show you how it just takes that off. But you definitely need a mask, especially with this bit, because dust will fly out like crazy. See what I mean by dust? All right, so you can see that shape starting to form up even a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take this bit and kind of make that groove in between and see if I can get a little bit flatter. Okay, so now you can really see the form. So I got to really straighten this out, but I need more fiberglass laid down. So I'm going to lay more fiberglass on the back side because I want to keep this as flat as possible. I mean, it's still wavy, but this is a lot flatter than back here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to build up more fiberglass on the back end and kind of take it over to the piece I already got done and see exactly where to cut it and see if I got my angles and everything about right. So okay, so back at it. I'm gonna go ahead and just build up these sides first. And actually, I don't need any right here. When I was looking at the way it's shaped over here, this is non-existent, so we don't need to worry about this area here. I didn't realize that before. Oh, and it was funny, when I was initially building this, you know, making the cardboard shape, I should have just did it all in cardboard instead of using the popsicle sticks. It became harder to do, or harder to work with, the popsicle sticks. So that's just a tidbit there. That's one thing I wish I would have done differently. So here, let me adjust this camera just up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So I wish I would have done that a little differently. So there's that. Depends on how thick you want to go. I want to try and stay with the thickness I got here, so just by eyeballing it, I'm going to need more material. So I'm going to have to cut me some more pieces and dab some more fiberglass in. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to need more fiberglass pieces, so. Alright, just like that. Let's see. You know, alright, set it on there and it won't mess anything up. Alright, so I painted this, but when when the girl came home, the garage door opened up and it's really super windy, and yeah, so I got little speckles of dust in there. It's alright. I'll wet sand it down and I'll fix it. So now back to this piece. I carved it to where it fits, you know, on this side. So just a rough shape of how that's going to go in. Very rough shape. And so then I'll be fiberglassing there. That's how it's supposed to look. Something more like that. All right. So I am going to be fiberglassing this all in. What I'm going to do, though, I still got some more shaping to do along these edges. So I'm going to use my Bondo glass, and I'm going to fill up in the back, make it somewhat smooth. So this has the fiberglass in it, and work along this side, fill it in. I need to make it a little bit thicker through here, and that way I can shape it a little bit more, and that'll be pretty good. This area right here, the way it's going to sit in there, I'm going to have the fiberglass over the top and make it smooth, so it's not going to make a difference on doing anything up here. But on the back, I want to make it nice and smooth and work along, you know, these edges here. So that's what I'm going to do. Use that bond glass and do that. So we'll come back after I lay this down. Looks like a big old glob of a mess, but trust me, once I reshape it, this is the outside of it, of course. Once I reshape it, it'll be nice and flat, and then I'll be able to get the grooves on the outside and nice and flush. I went a little thick on the outer edge, so I'll basically do the same thing, take my Dremel and just along the side, and then, or I could take my file, you know, I might just use an actual file. Might be easier with a file. I'll probably use the file first, but we'll let that dry, set up, and we'll come back tomorrow. I'm done for the night. So all right.